What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Sam, what do we have here?
Well, guys, you saw it in the previous video, or at least I hope you did. We've got us a Jeep Trackhawk. It's not stock, so we promised in that other video we'd let you know what all's been done to this thing, and we're still trying to figure that out ourselves.
It's a long mod list, and there's some things we got to work out. We've already figured that out just from doing the rips. But let's check this thing out. I'm gonna run through the cosmetic mods really quick. Front and back, you have a carbon fiber rear lower valance diffuser, and that thing really just sets this off. It does have PPF on it right now. In the back, you've got the matching diffuser, and guys, this thing looks slick. It's not in perfect condition, it's not brand new, but dadgum, carbon fiber looks great when you put a little bit of light on it. The guy that built this actually had the Australian mirrors imported, and they actually have power fold. So he's got the right switches on the inside, power fold mirror, added carbon fiber shells to that. That all is not cheap. The shells would be the cheapest part of that. He's got the top of the roof wrapped black, and this does have the big double glass panoramic roof. Something you can't see, but it's a very expensive thing, is he's got PPF on the whole front clip and then running down the sides here all the way down and around the back, so everything's really protected. And then he's got like 9 coats of ceramic coat on there, ceramic pro. So that's very, very expensive, but it's something I don't have to do. It's already done. Obviously tinted the front 2 windows to match the back, so those are done. All the lights are tinted, so they've got some tint on here, and I may redo some of this. Some of it has seen better days, and I'll point out an example of that. Up here in your third brake light, it's a little off-centered, so that tail lights are actually aftermarket, so those weren't cheap. And then they actually took this, which came as just a reflector, and they converted that into a real running light, and it's got some tint on there as well, so we may clean that up. We'll get to the exhaust in just a second. I'm backed away just a little bit. If you can't tell, if you're not used to Trackhawks or Grand Cherokees, you may not know this, but this is lowered on iBike lowering springs. It also has pretty much dang near everything B-Woody offers, and as we've launched this thing, guys, it's a freaking race car. It feels like a C8 Corvette with 4 doors. As we mentioned in our first video with this is the Reaper Hawk. Trackhawk comes with yellow Brembo gigantic calipers. We're gonna change that when we come up with a full design scheme for the whole vehicle. We just got it today, guys. We do have the Demon Performance 2-piece rotors, so those are gonna help with our stopping power. The stock wheels are not ugly, but they gotta go. We'll have something nice on there. The stock lug nuts are already rusting a little bit, so whatever we put on is gonna look great. This thing has 11,000 miles. These are probably the original tires, so we're definitely gonna get something stickier, maybe a little bit wider too. Almost forgot to mention, there's some titanium mounting hardware for the calipers that saves a little bit of weight. Those weren't cheap. I don't know how much weight it saved, but I guess that's awesome we got that. From the factory, this thing says Grand Cherokee Supercharged, and that's been debadged, and then we've got a Hellcat Red Eye badge on here. With this thing being the Reaper Hawk, with all the things we plan to do with it, we are going to come up with our own logo that is the Reaper Hawk. There's also your traditional Trackhawk badge here in the back. We'll probably replace that as well. Not that we don't like it, it's just that we're gonna make this thing the Reaper Hawk. I've got 2 things to show you inside. It's not like a review on a Trackhawk. This is a review on our Trackhawk. It does have the carbon fiber though. I gotta show you the fiber. Inside, the most custom thing is this gauge pod here. I do have the Alcantara headliner, and the A-pillars are suede or Alcantara. I don't know if that's factory, but I know in this one we've got a custom stitched in gauge pod, and I'm gonna start this up. And it's cammed like crazy, guys. We'll let you hear it in just a second. But this throws, I don't know if it's coming across on screen, but it throws all the numbers that we need to be able to drive this thing on E85. The previous owner also installed the bigger screen that did not come on 2018. That wasn't cheap. It does have this piano black finish. It does look awesome. All these performance apps and stuff you can do with this are pretty sick. We've goofed with it just a little bit. We're gonna have a lot of fun in here, guys. Sam's gonna talk to you about a forced induction inner chiller here in just a minute. We got some switches here for that. So let's move on to the underhood and drivetrain stuff, because that is where it's at.
All right, so the obvious thing, as soon as you pop up in the hood, you're gonna notice that this isn't your regular blower. This is a demon blower, and it's not just any demon blower. I'm gonna have to hold my laptop right here to not forget anything, because it's got so much stuff going on and it's new to us. This blower is ported and polished by Fast Motorsports. It's also got the 2.7 billet bearing plate and ceramic bearings, so it had their full upgrade kit.
Factory blower on a Hellcat is like 2.4.
2.4. This one's 2.7. But it does have another mod we'll talk about here in a second. Well, let's go ahead and say it. It's got the blower spacers and the cooling blanket by forced induction interchillers. So that while they had the blower off, they put a cooling blanket down in the V of the motor and also added some spacers. So this thing is more than 2.7 liters. It's pretty much the wildest setup you can go with a factory style blower on one of these Trackhawks or Hellcats or Red Eyes or Demons, period. This is as far as you can go with one of these blowers. We've got the Calm Performance billet throttle body right here. We've also got a Granatelli thermostat housing with a 180-degree thermostat to keep it running a little bit cooler. The entire motor is built. We're not exactly sure. We've got to do a little bit more research, but what we do know is it's rods, pistons, cams, crankshaft, and the heads were worked on. So, I mean, we're talking a complete built motor here.
Custom cams too.
Yeah, exactly. Custom cams on this thing. That's why you hear the lope. We've got an AFE power cold air intake.
Carbon fiber.
Of course, you know, you have to have an unlocked PCM and a lot of HP tuning software with these, so all that's obviously been done with this vehicle. We've got a big E85 upgrade kit. This is a 4 Innovations triple pumped fuel system, and it comes with rails. So I mean, this entire system from the back to the front, completely redone. I think it's good for like up to 2,000 horsepower or something insane. So is the motor, we've been told. So like the block is built and ready to go for 2,000 horsepower. It's not there yet, but it doesn't mean you couldn't add a little something else. I think this blower as it sits, we're being told, is kind of at its peak, but there's other things you can add to this, such as turbos or maybe a little and
Nitrous,
you can keep going with this. So it's built and it's ready for that. So underneath the gigantic fuel rails, we've also got 1200cc injectors. There's Brisk racing plugs in this thing. Yeah, since we came from Ford, never heard of using Brisk racing plugs. A lot of these companies, you know, we're learning as we go, because you know, we've been Ford guys, never really got into these Jeep products, so we're
This was
learning.
a good place to start.
Yeah,
I argue that this is the
fully
best
built.
place to start.
So with any Mopar we hear, first thing you do is pin the crank. That's been done on this motor. We've got a 2.75 pulley on this thing, which is pretty small. I mean, that's way smaller than the Wolf
Makes
over
it
here.
go wee, wee.
Yeah, this is a 10 rib system. We've got an update. I'm not sure what brand it is. I can't get in there.
Talking about the damper.
Yeah, the harmonic balancer down there.
Y'all can tell from here, right? You got it? Okay, good.
Yeah. So basically everything you can do to one.
Oh, the headers.
Yeah, stainless works headers with custom Cerakote on them.
Yep, it's hard to see.
What else we got?
Borla S-type exhaust system.
Full Borla S-type, which sounds really good. I mean, guys, this thing.
We're going to show you in just a second.
This
And
is
if you want to see this thing rip from a dig and rip, you know, just wide open over 100 miles an hour, watch the previous video. We'll put a link to it at the end of this one. But we're going to start this up for you and rev it.
As far as we know, Dodge was the first company to come out with a cooling system for their superchargers, where it tapped into the AC unit, uses some of that cooling ability to keep those temperatures down. And you know, over here on the Wolf, we've had a system from forced induction interchillers on it for quite a while. That same system, stage 2 kit, is on this vehicle. It's going to keep those IATs as low as possible.
And just to make sure all this power can go to the ground, now this is all-wheel drive, so the front and the rear pull Obviously, most of the power is put to the ground in the rear. This does already have installed G-Force Renegade rear axles, and just to make sure nothing breaks, it's got a Wiles aluminum one-piece 4-inch drive shaft. So this thing is pretty well set up. There are a couple things we'll probably still, well, there's some stuff we're still going to do, cosmetic and with the drivetrain, and with it running on corn, it is inconvenient. This is going to be my daily for a while until that GT350 is done cosmetically and ready to rip. But we are going to do some more cool stuff.
So one last thing that the previous owner sent us that it doesn't look like it's even been installed yet. This is a racing battery, guys. So instead of weighing like 50 something pounds like your factory battery, this weighs like 9 pounds. I mean, it's super light, lithium ion.
It's actually stronger than the factory battery.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it has more cranking power and all that. Pretty wild stuff there, guys.
We got that. That's on our vehicle if we put it on there.
One thing to note with these lithium ions, if it's wintertime, you don't want to run lithium ion batteries when it's super cold outside, if it's below freezing. So this may be something we throw on when we're headed to the track or run through the summer. But yeah, I mean, it's super expensive and awesome that we've got it.
And we have it.
Let's crank it up.
Let's listen to it. Now from inside, the blower sounds awesome. All right, give it some.
JLT catch can too. So this vehicle was built by TNA Motorsports up in New York, right outside the city. Evidently all their custom tuning is done by Dusterhoff Tuning. I believe he's based out of the South. We do need to get with him, look at some logs and make sure everything's cool. This thing was tuned for up there in New York City, and it's basically sea level. We're here in Tennessee and we're at about 1,000 feet above sea level, so we need them to take a look at the tune, make sure none of the parameters need to be changed for all that altitude difference. That's going to change your boost levels, that's going to change your idle and stuff like that. So that's the next step, guys.
We wanted to get this video out quickly. We're headed to SEMA for all next week.
It's going to be a blast.
We've got some awesome videos planned for you guys at SEMA in Vegas for the entire week. But guys, what do you think about the new Reaper Hawk? Let us know down in the comments, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.